Welcome back. My name's Dave, and this is Mckerrow Siding, my N-scale layout. Today we're still continuing on with the station. We've got to put the roof on it, and then we're going to put the lights in it. And that'll be the structure finished. Then we still have a platform and all of the scenics that go around it. I spent a bit of time, was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Putting the roads in place, the highway and stuff, in a good swath of the layout, and it's just pieces of balsa that have cut the right size and now are pinned down. So it gives me a way to locate the buildings and give them ways to get down to the down to the station and that kind of thing. So anyway, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the roof on the building. The roof surface was sheets that had self-adhesive backs on it, and you'll see how that goes on. Once it was on, I then used some where is it? Vallejo plastic putty to fill in the cracks and stuff, because it butt up against each other pretty good, but there were still little bits and pieces where it wasn't as tight as I would like it. And then after that, we're going to do the lighting of the station. The station has two, you can see here, two large holes in it, which allows me to put noodle LEDs. I just had them. What did I do with them? Anyway, I'll find them before we get there. In here. Oh, here they are. I buried them. So they're just little yellow. These are not the flexible ones. These are the rigid ones, which means if you bend them, you'll snap them and they won't work. I've already managed to do that this morning. So we'll just we'll proceed on. So let's get to the roof, and then. So here we go with the roof. So what I've done here is I've made a cradle out of some packing foam for the building to sit down into, and that will support this as I put the pieces on. Now the instructions are very, very clear about the order. This one, this one, this one, this one. And now I'm going to double check. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all of these have self-adhesive backs. So I'm just peeling off the backing paper. And they do warn you to get them lined up really good before you start pressing down, because once you start pressing down, it is pretty much there for good. So there's that one. Oh, see, that's where I put the and now we'll get the next one here. Goes on the very end. Now what I may do here, I think I'm going to, is I'm going to get some putty. I'm going to fill in these cracks, and then I'm going to spray the roof gray again, just to seal up those cracks. This is the last one that has to go on. Of course, the last one's going to be the one that's going to be the pickiest here. Come on. Oh, there it is. There we go. Now, the other reason for this cradle is, and it'll come up, you'll see me use it in the second part of this, but is to flip this over and put it like that, so I can now, this is in focus, and then I can start to put the bracing that goes in underneath the roof all the way around the building. And again, I messed up because that should be brown, so I'm going to have to paint that brown, but I'm going to have to paint it with a brush and not an airbrush. All right. So this is the building with the roof on it. And like I say, I've got some Vallejo plastic putty, number 70.400. And I'm going to just gently put it in these separations. Probably use a mini brush like this thing here, and fill in all those cracks, and then I will paint the roof again. But because I've got this thing, I can put the building back down inside it and spray, and it'll protect the rest of the building from turning gray. And like I say, I put it on upside down when I put it on, because the other side I know is painted. But anyway, also I want you to see how large the opening is here. So I'm going to put a light in here and a light in here so we can light up the inside of the station. And I've ordered street lights, vintage street lights for the platform, and I'm still working on that platform. So give me a couple of minutes, and I'm going to put the putty on, and we'll go from there. And so you can see here, there's all the putty, and I'm gonna let that set overnight, and then tomorrow morning I will spray that again, and I'll paint that one underneath that I forgot to paint. And I've got the chimneys are on these little popsicle sticks, and they're about to get painted, and that'll be that part of the video done. And the only thing left is to put the braces on. Okay. So we're finished with the roof, and now let's go on to the oh geez, Dave, go on to the doing the lighting. I'm just walking over here and getting a battery for a camera. I forgot to set it up. I always forget something. I guess it comes with being in your 70s. Okay, we're waiting for camera 6 to come up here. And there she is. Good. Okay. I gotta get it. There we go. And are we in all the way? We are now. And focus at 6. And take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing here. So let's switch to 6, which is the overhead view. So this is my my soldering platform. I got it's from Omnifixo, and it is by far the best little soldering you'll ever get. I will put a link in the description for it. But yes, it is a really good soldering rig. You know, just my soldering gun is there. It is. Are you heating up, or what are you doing? Okay, hold on. I gotta switch guns. Sorry, had to switch. I got a new one, and it has some odd proclivities that it doesn't stay on very long. So I'm just going to grab a Q-tip here, and we'll grab some flux. Put some flux on the Q-tip, and flux the end of the light, both sides. Flux the black lead, flux the red lead. Now, the way to tell the positive and negative on these little bulbs is that one of the tabs has a tiny little hole in it, and that's the positive, and the other one has no hole in it, and that's the negative. I'm just gonna. I didn't twist the black. There we go. So, let's see what we can do here. So the first thing is to tin the wire, both sides. And pick up a little bit more solder. Now this solder is intended for modeling. It is not solder that you would use for pipes. So now I'm going to come on. Yep, there we are. There we are. Okay. The next step is to test to make sure that that's actually working. I have these wonderful strippers from DC Concepts that will do wires down to 30 gauge, which is a real gift because, as you know, most of the LED lighting comes with wires that are so thin. They're not as thin as a human hair, but they're still thin enough that regular wire strippers do not work. So I've got a 3-volt excuse me, a 3-volt set up here on my workbench so I can test things right away. And if this works, this should a light. There we go. So that one's done. Now the only thing left to do with this one, where are they? There they are, is because these little bulbs are silicone, nothing sticks to them, or silicone sticks to nothing. I don't know which way you want to put it, but anyway, you can't put glue on it, it won't work. So what I did is I bought a whole whack of clear shrink wrap. I think I got it on Amazon. I'll have to check. And I'm just going to slide that over we'll put that aside. I'll bring out my heat gun in a minute and shrink that. So, get another one of these. And I'm turning on my glue gun right now so it's warm by the time we need it. Like I say, these are tiny little bulbs. As you can see, maybe 1.25 inches long. So once again, into the clamp. First things first. Get my magnifying glass over here, sorry. And which one has the hole? That one does. Okay, so it goes this way. I have 30 gauge wire here. And by the look of it, I'm going to have to order a bunch of rolls here because I'm getting pretty close to being out. Once again, we're going to strip this wire. And I'll just show you. There's the DC Concepts stripper, and it's got an adjustment on it, so you can adjust it to the thickness you want, and then it'll always be the same thickness. And so I've got it adjusted to 30 gauge here. And we're going to put this in here and get that ready for flux. Get the black wire. And I'll strip it. Twist it. This is braided wire, so I always twist it to make sure that all the fibers are together. Bingo. All right, let's grab that Q-tip again. Flux there. Flux there. Flux here. And there. Put that back in there. Grab something to get the flux off my fingertips before I... All right, and here we go again. So, clean the tip. Tin that one, tin this one, turn this sideways, all right, and put them close together. The only way to get good at soldering is to do lots of it. It has taken me a long time to be able to do this quickly. But tinning makes a big, big difference. I would recommend that you always tin. And you can see when I can pull on it and it doesn't break, that means it's ready. Okay. I'll strip the far end and we'll test this one again. Make sure that it's working. The other lights that are going to go on here are on order from Aamzon. And they are N-scale lights that are going to go underneath the eaves on the station. I can only assume that they did have lights there. I have some lights that I'm going to use on the platform that isn't where the station is. Just getting those ready. Okay, here we go again. So, red, to the red alligator clip here, black to the black alligator clip, and we have lights. Okay. So now, we'll get that piece of shrink wrap again. Now the shrink wrap is not really being used to protect the connections, but I'm going to shrink it anyway just to make sure it's it gives it some added strength where it's glued, where it's soldered together. Okay, so we're just going to put that back in there. We're going to get this out of the way. And now, I got to get my big heat gun. By big heat gun, I mean big heat gun. And there's a plug-in underneath here. Okay, turn it on. Okay, that one's done. Let's put this well in here. That's done. And that's done. Okay. Now, because this thing gets so hot so fast, okay, I made a little stand for it so that it can cool without there we go. And it's unplugged so I can be safe with that. So what I've done for the let's go back to, is it one that's, what I've done for working with the station is I've made this foam support. This way I can take this thing out of here and turn it upside down, and it will hold the building. So this is going to make putting these lights in here much easier. So just give me a second here. I've got to, oh, it's this way, damn it. There we go. So we'll get this little jig out of the way here. And we've got the two lights, which I'm going to be very careful with now because I don't want to snap them. And I'm going to grab, where did I put those wires? There we go. Here's my my tweezers and a glue gun. So I'm going to just put a dab of glue in there. My glue gun, the little one I have here at the desk is a cordless one, and it charges. So now, and I just broke that one. Yeah. Well, let's try it the other way. Probably should have done that to begin with. All right, we're going to have to go back and solder, solder another bulb, guys. Sorry. I'm pretty sure this one's dead. I'm just going to test it, but I'm pretty sure it's dead. If it isn't dead, it's going to be, it's going to flicker intermittently, and that's, once it's on the layout, I don't want that to be a problem. Oh, look at that. It's lighting up. Is it? It is. You know what? I'm going to give it a shot. If that's... So, some glue on here. Big dollop of it. That'll make things easier, I think. Grab my tweezers. Bring this over here. Come on. Now we're going to test that one again because I heard a little click. And where's the black lead? There's the black lead. Oh, and it's lighting up, so we're good to go. So now what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to put both black leads together here. I'm going to grab my little jig again. So this is the two black leads, and we're at 300, and we're going to pick up some solder, and we're going to tin these two together. There we go. And now we're going to take the two red leads, and wrap them together. Get the black out of there, put the red in here, and there we go. Now the lead obviously will go through a hole in the platform and come out on the bottom of the layout and then be hooked up to a 3-volt power supply. There's that one hooked up. Grab the black one, come and bring it up here. Turn it up. Okay. And we'll put it in on there. And let's see what we've got. And you can see the lights coming out there. And there are more windows on the back, so I'll flip it around so you can see that. And that's the lighting all lit up. So I'm just going to disconnect them. So the next thing to do, I'm going to put this back in its cradle. Is we're going to weather the roof. And we've got to work on the platform, and I'm just going to show you the platform right now. Oops, it's this one. Is it? Yeah, we'll zoom out. This way? Nope, wrong way. So this is the platform. And as far as I can tell from the pictures, this is the sort of shape it should be. There was a long, thin thing here, and then there was the building, and then a little bit of surface here. So what's going to happen is I don't know, maybe I'll just hold it up. The station is going to sit on here, like that. This edge will be butt up against the, or as close to the rail as possible without interfering with traffic. Down here, there's going to be a little ramp that people could walk up and go onto the platform. And there's going to be a ramp at the end where people can walk off, and a ramp at this side that they can walk up. I'm 3D printing those right now. But the first thing to do is to prime this, and what I've done already is I made what I thought was the right size platform on Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. Anyway, this is the platform that I made, and it's been primed with VMS no peel surface primer, which is a very thin and I assume acrylic primer, water-based acrylic. It says right there on the so cleaning it up in the airbrush is going to be a breeze. So I sprayed this one down just to see what would happen and whether it would warp. It hasn't really. It has warped just a tiny bit, but that'll be easy to get down. So let's just get rid of all of the soldering stuff. Out of the way. So like I say, it's going to sit on here like this. With the roof not protruding over the front edge of the platform, because if it projects over the front edge, it's sure as shooting going to catch on a train, on a diesel or a car as it goes by. So we're going to quit today for this. And we will weather the station and everything else when it's in situ. That way I can make it match the surrounding. But I've still got to work on the platform, which will be next week's video, along with putting it right on the layout and then doing some of the situ work around it so that it can be finished off, and because they always look much better when they're actually on the layout than they do when they're just sitting as a raw building on a workbench. So, as always, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel. And if you have any comments about anything that I do, just go ahead and put them in the bottom. I will be putting some of the materials I've used today in the description below, so that if you want to go out and purchase something that I've used, you can go out and get it. All right. So now, as always, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and I'll see you next week with a new video. Bye for now.